Sometimes the things that tear us apart are the ones that unite us and bring us closer together. Sometimes the darkest of night turns into a day so bright, leaving the scars and the pain, everything that we fear behind us. Where there is life, let's keep on dreaming. Where there is love, let's find new meaning. Where there is hope, keep on believing, keep holding on. Never give up through wind and storm, 'cause after the rain, there'll be a calm. Sunshine of a new day, it won't be long. Keep holding on.
A message from Sagicor.
I looked at you and suddenly something in your eyes I see soon begins bewitching me. It's that old devil moon that you stole from the skies. It's that old devil moon in your eyes. You and your glance make this romance too hot to handle. Stars in the night, blazing their light, can't hold a candle to your razzle dazzle. You got me flying high and wide on the magic carpet ride, full of butterflies inside. Just when I think I'm free as a dove, old devil moon deep in your eyes blinds me with love.
P.A. Benjamin Manufacturing Company Limited manufacturers of quality Jamaican products, bringing them to your home for over a century, introduces a new range of personal care luxury products for you with our newest brand, Benjamin's Cosmetics. The Benjamin's Cosmetics line is made with authentic Jamaican black castor oil and other natural oils for healthy hair. Our products are specially formulated with the best ingredients to infuse your hair with shine, hydration, and softness. We offer luxurious premium natural oils and skincare items that are gentle enough for daily use, promoting healthy hair and skin. It is the same brand that you have come to know and love, now available for your beauty needs. Benjamin's, a trusted name for over a century.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Jamaica Observer Beauty and Wellness Summit. We are at the Half Moon Resort, and we are delighted to welcome you to what will be the first in a series of many fabulous weekends where the focus is on you. My name is Novia MacDonald-White, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this, our very first Beauty and Wellness, operative word wellness, Summit, powered by Sagicor, Half Moon Resort, Benjamin's, and MDS. Of course, if we are at the Beauty and Wellness Summit, the first person that we are going to speak to would be the spa director here at the fabulous Half Moon Resort, the Fern Tree Spa. And we are with Tanya Vassell, who is the spa director. Tell us about I noticed you've added salamander to the Fern Tree Spa.
Yes, welcome Novio, so good to have you.
Thank you very much.
Always. And yes, Salamander, as we joined with the Salamander Resort chain, and so the Salamander Hotels have a salamander spa, and so we have added. We haven't taken out the fern tree still.
Right, I saw the
but
fern
we've
tree.
added the salamander.
Okay, so it's the fern tree and salamander.
A salamander spa.
Okay, the fern tree, a salamander spa. So
Yes.
here we are, as I said, the Beauty and Wellness Summit, powered by Sagicor, Half Moon Resort, Benjamins and MDS. I am no stranger to this component, this aspect of life at Half Moon. So what have you added since the last time I've been here? And tell us as well why it's important to de-stress. Although it's been a stressful morning.
A little stress is always good. It's what keeps us going, but not too much. Not too much. And everybody's very stressed now, so I find that a spa visit is actually not enough anymore, Miss Novia.
That's very true.
You know, people have
I want to be like Cecile when I grow up.
It has to be a part of it. It has to be a part of it.
Right.
We all have to get involved and get it. So whether you're doing it at home or whether you don't take the time out for yourself, you come here and allow us to do it. But it's really hard for us to care for anyone else if we don't first care for ourselves.
So, okay, usually I will check in and I'll dedicate an entire day. So is that a good thing? I mean, you can't play catch up. It's too late for me in any case, but at least, so what are some of the things that we should be looking at? You still do your wonderful Cerasee tea foot bath, for example.
Absolutely. We've actually now made sure we try it with every treatment. So it is
really?
The start of every treatment. We used to do it with our signature treatment, but now that's how we start all our treatments. It's the opportunity for our therapists to connect with our clients and also detox, get rid of. Let's start anew, and that's what that ritual does for you. So Cerasee starts that process, and then you get to connect with your therapist, and we try and personalize each service.
Is there a reason why you have chosen Cerasee?
Well, from my grandmother's days,
Watch out.
you know, Cerasee was something you ran away from. Drinking it, that was. It was good for you. Everybody needed a good washout. However, Cerasee is really great, and you don't have to go through the taste factor when you actually have it on the feet.
True.
It's also really nice in a full bath. But quite a few of our clients have actually grown to love the taste of it too. And Country House does a really nice leaf for us. And because what we have in our garden, you know, each day we do a tea for the spa.
Yes, today's soursop tea.
Soursop today.
Yes.
It's great for the nerves.
Okay.
So I said on a stressful day for some, soursop might be the ideal option.
Yes.
But yes.
How long have you been at the spa? Here?
Here at Fern Tree, 8 years. It's been eight great years.
How has the traveller changed towards the spa? And, you know, I'm sure over the years you've seen some change. 8 years ago versus today. What are we looking for today?
Well, today, right now, I would say, particularly since COVID, I can tell you some changes that have taken place are persons including their children more, the younger ones, very stressful times, yes. And
when you say the younger ones, how much stress? How much stress is a 7-year-old under?
No. 12 and under, we always encourage you to come with your parents. So we take all age groups, 2-3 years old, that's fine. And over 12, then that's fine. They can come on their own, and they will have a guided treatment with a therapist. But your parents used to bring children along for a half an hour or a 15-minute, giving them a teaser. Now they're actually bringing the children so that they can deal with their stress level, their mental stability, and that's what's been happening. So they're not having 15 minutes and half an hour. They're doing 60 minutes and 90-minute treatments. Really? They're having their children, particularly the teenagers, come back. Wow. I think they closed down, being locked away, and even though everybody had phones, that social distancing played upon a lot of persons, and they watched parents go through stress, probably with changes in their business, different things.
Yes.
And that's played havoc on the young minds, and they do their stress differently. And so I found parents reaching out to me personally on several occasions, asking for what they thought might be best for their young one. So there's a lot of personal communication now and customizing treatments for individuals, for families, and spending spa time together. A lot of outdoor. Fern Tree boasts the opportunity to be able to do services indoor. And outside, because all our treatment rooms open onto their own garden, and so you can have that quiet, dimly lit candle light, or you can have open, breezy, natural air coming in. So outdoors is really what persons have gone for. Or overwater bungalows, we can't keep them empty.
Yes,
It's
lovely.
Yeah, 30% of our clients want to be outdoors and doing services outdoors, or yoga pavilion, or Thai yoga massage where you don't have to get changed or anything. You can go straight in. Very popular now.
What are the services that you are affording the entry level, then the children, who obviously they'll be the next generation of spa enthusiasts? So what kind of treatments do you introduce them to, outside of obviously the ubiquitous mani and pedi?
No, great for massage, straight into massage therapy. We even had more recently youngsters, they're into cupping massage, and particularly those who are into sports. It's really very popular in the States, not that popular out. Cupping, sure. They actually use like suction cups on the back, which is bringing the blood closer to the surface, increasing circulation. It actually does a little breaking up of the surface capillaries. Now, I don't tell you it's my favorite treatment, nor is it that it feels comfortable. I actually think that the youngsters enjoy the bragging rights for it, because particularly the young men, they're deciding they're working out, and this is their first stage. So the young teenagers.
So the cupping massage is.
Well, the cupping massage, or sports therapist who works with the Montego Bay football team, he actually does that particular one for the young men. And it's mostly the gentlemen who are going for that massage. So that's something that's totally new. Took me by surprise. I learned cupping many years ago in a different way, really coming from shiatsu and doing moxibustion and that type of thing. But this is something new. But earthing, I'll tell you what's new, is dealing with the earth.
Yes, you were mentioning that yesterday.
Right.
Yes.
So although nowadays we had forest bathing and we had persons going outside and being grounded, but what's happening now is they're actually encouraging you to actually work with the earth, get your hands dirty. In fact, I can't even speak to it because I don't have enough knowledge to share, but I can tell you that they're liking it to sleep and exercise as the biggest thing that's going to be coming in wellness.
Okay.
So it's pretty new. They pinched on it in the last 2 years, but this year at the Global Spa Summit, where we had everybody from Asia, India, Brazil, South America, further down, the Caribbean was in there, of course, and of North America and Canada, everybody melting pot coming together, giving what they saw as the latest trends. And they really spoke to this earthiness and the importance of touching place with earth. So of course, at Half Moon, we always manage to be a step ahead, even when we're not aware that we are. So we introduced last year a class where we invite you to explore your green thumb and get into the garden. We were actually looking at embracing the outdoors and opportunities to get involved with what's outside, because that's what people were looking for and where they were comfortable. So we'll teach you how to transplant a plant, circumposing. I fortunately have on my team a young lady who has her degree in landscaping, and so she's naturally a green thumb. She in fact transitioned from being in the garden to wanting to come into spa and beauty.
Nice.
And so she actually leads us in that class, and we've had quite a successful run of persons getting involved, getting out there, getting in the garden, getting in the herb garden. She gives you tips on how to make your herbs grow quickly and that type of thing. So it works well. That and our bush bath, which I know you like.
Oh, I love the bush bath, yes.
So yes, our herbal bush bath has been very popular. All our baths are popular because they're outdoor in the gardens. Again, opportunity for single or for double. And the bush bath, because you can get the herbs straight here from the garden and everything. Persons really like getting involved with that, and Yeah, I think there are quite a few things to keep you busy here. You can spend the rest
Absolutely.
of the week with
I was just about to say, we've moved from the weekend to the week. Well, Summer Lopez, who's
Yes.
here with us today, she enjoyed your massage yesterday.
Oh, God.
So what do you suggest we afford Dr. Rose Ingram? You know, it's been a very stressful morning, so I think the bush bath might be
I
nice.
think we need to immerse her.
Yes, I definitely will find out from her what her availability is like.
Absolutely. I'll head to the herb garden
And
and
you'll
get
see
some
me.
herbs.
Well, I can't
Yeah.
promise to be out in the garden landscaping. I can't promise,
You
but
never
I will
know.
stick. I know. I will, however, stick to the
You
bush
can get a
bath.
manicure when you're finished.
I will definitely stick to the bush bath. Thank you very much, Tanya.
It's so good to have you here.
It's lovely talking to you, and keep up the great work that you're doing here at Half Moon.
Thank you, Nobel. Thank you so much.
That tear us apart are the ones that unite us and bring us closer together. Sometimes the darkest of night turns into a day so bright, leaving the scars and the pain, everything that we fear behind us. Where there is life, let's keep on dreaming. Where there is love, let's find new meaning. Where there is hope, keep on believing, keep holding on. So never give up through wind and storm, 'cause after the rain, there'll be a calm. Sunshine of a new day, it won't be long. Keep holding
A
on.
message from Sagicor.
P.A. Benjamin Manufacturing Company Limited, manufacturers of quality Jamaican products, bringing them to your home for over a century, introduces a new range of personal care luxury products for you with our newest brand, Benjamin's Cosmetics. The Benjamin's Cosmetics line is made with authentic Jamaican black castor oil and other natural oils for healthy hair. Our products are specially formulated with the best ingredients to infuse your hair with shine, hydration, and softness. We offer luxurious premium natural oils and skincare items that are gentle enough for daily use, promoting healthy hair and skin. It is the same brand that you have come to know and love, now available for your beauty needs. Benjamin's, a trusted name for over a century.
Welcome back. The Jamaica Observer Beauty and Wellness Summit. We just heard from Tanya Bassel, who's the spa director here. And, you know, if you've not visited Half Moon, shame on you. If you've not had a day at the spa, well, don't speak to me ever again. My name is Noah. Absolutely delighted to host this Beauty and Wellness Summit brought to you by Sagicor, Half Moon, Benjamin's Cosmetic, and MDS. Our panel. See, you can't pay for stuff like this, really. So, you know, obviously we had to put them up at the Half Moon. Welcome, Dr. Rose Ingleton, who is a medical director, Ingleton Dermatology, and these, you know, the person the celebs run after. That's why it has taken us so long to have her on the panel, but we are so happy to have her. Now, some time ago, and it wasn't Cecile, somebody, you know, I explained to somebody that I needed to go somewhere to kind of, you know, get the bones back together again and to not sweat. Well, let's just say that Summer ignores my pleas, but she is the reason why, you know, after a stressful week, after a stressful year, I'm still able to walk, because who knew that you could manage pain so beautifully? I was managing pain for so long until I met Summer. Welcome, Summer, Director, Body Forte Limited, physical therapist, movement Pilates expert, and all set to defend her PhD.
Thank you, thank you.
And now, special introduction to Kayla Greaves. You know, and you know, once, you know, if Cecile calls you about anybody, you know, the alert goes out immediately, right? And we have welcomed Kayla, my yet another Cecile adopted daughter, and she'd recently got a promotion, of which we're happy. That means she can send more money down to mother. Executive editor at InStyle magazine. You know, a Jamaican, her parents are Jamaican via Canada, moved to New York because, of course, you know, it's a city that never sleeps prior to COVID, that is. She understood that even the city that never sleeps, slept. So welcome, Kayla.
Thank you.
Let us, without further ado, start with Summer Lopez. I love Summer's phrase, fortifying your body for life. That's one thing that she taught me. And also, you see, all of those people there, Novia, running up and down the place, are all going to end up on my couch. You see, not even our cardiologist who's with us ever said that to me. So all of you people running up and down the place, you're going to end up on Summer's couch. So what I suggest to you, I'm not calling any names, Pat Henry, is that you call Summer and make arrangements for her to align and balance your body. Welcome, Summer.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's great to be here. An honor to be with you lovely ladies. And I think beauty and wellness is a package. And I think, you know, we all want to look good, but feeling good is just as important as looking good, you know, and that takes lots of things. It takes good nutrition and sleep habits and all that stuff, but my real area of expertise is in movement and the way we function. And science has given us a lot of great things. It has given us medicine, which keeps us living longer, which is great, but we have to prevent, and I'm sure when Dr. Ingleton gets to her section, she's going to talk about how we can stay looking young, right? And we want to stay feeling young and being able to do all the things that we want to do, you know? So an aging population, and we're going to have in 2050 more people over the age of 65 than under the age of 15 for the first time ever. So we want to make sure that they are well and can do everything they want to do. The other thing science has given us is automation. So we're very sedentary, right? And I'm a firm believer that exercise should be prescribed just as medicine should be prescribed. Maintaining muscle mass, maintaining mobility, and like beauty, which is very individual because beauty means different things to everybody,
Exactly.
so does function. So I have so many interesting and meaningful stories along the years that, you know, when patients come into my office and, you know, well, why are you here? You know, some ladies, you know, well into their 70s say, well, I can't wear my heels anymore. And that is, you know, important to them, you know, or I can't, right? And I, you know, right, exactly. I just had one of my favorite patients. She had a total hip replacement, and her goal to walk down the stairs in heels. We got her there. Nice. And one thing I will say is, I think there are a lot of myths around physical therapy. You have to be old, or you have had to have major surgery, or have had a major accident. Physical therapists have a huge role in prevention and, you know, helping guide you as to how to live, as Novia says, pain-free. Don't ignore your little aches and pains today that can, you know, popping a few Panadol or Cataflam, you know, they'll help you, but they're not going to solve the reason that pain is there. And that pain is there to tell you, it's a little red flag to say, hey, you know, pay attention to me because, you know, something could be brewing. And that's another reason a lot of patients come to us after many years of maybe medications, diagnostic tests, maybe even surgeries that, for instance, their knee, if they have a knee problem, maybe it's not coming from the knee, you know, maybe it's coming from a stiff ankle. Your ankles are meant to be mobile. Your knee is meant to be stable. Your hip is meant to be mobile. If that's called regional interdependence, if that system has a kink in that, and that's not addressed, bad things can happen. And physical therapists are here to help. So I invite everybody to work with a therapist. And you don't have to have a major injury, but we're here to guide you and help you fortify your body for life.
Absolutely. We have exercises that you do, so obviously, as a physiotherapist. Could you elaborate a bit more on what you just said? Like, you always say to me, for example, straighten your wrist. What is it that you say? Because sometimes, it depends, how I'm feeling. But, you just said, your ankle is supposed to be mobile, your knee stable, and your hip. So could you elaborate a bit more on that?
Well, that's a theory called regional interdependence. And for instance, I love to give examples because I think, I want to talk so everybody can understand.
Absolutely.
A lot of our back patients come in, chronic low back pain, and we have them do a test where we make a fist and we, can your knuckles touch behind you? And some of them really...
Can we demonstrate that? How many of you can...
Right, and many of them are very good, very good. But so many of them contort themselves and they're using their back, to have, right? So that means every time they're reaching for something, they're overusing their back instead of having a nice mobile shoulder. So that we're looking at, is everything working as it should be working? And a physical therapist is able to pick up on those points and create a customized plan for you, right? So top athletes, older people, it doesn't matter your age or your stage. So that's important.
So we have elite athletes, obviously, we have the best therapist. Closer to home, Cecile's friend Ralph Lauren travels with his own physiotherapist. How important is that person?
For athletes. And
can we afford a physiotherapist? Because that's the question.
Yes. It is important for athletes because, a lot's at stake for them and they want to do well and they have to be high performing and lots of training and they want to avoid getting injured. So again, avoid prevention. Afford, I think, health insurance covers physical therapy if you have a doctor's referral. Yes. And another thing is we must advocate for ourselves when we go to the doctor as well, to say, I don't feel well, something hurts. Ask for physical therapy. There are many times, maybe they'll want to send you for a scan and they want to see, but physical therapy is a safe place to start in many cases, as long as they're sure that something more sinister is not really at the cause of your problem.
Right.
Yeah.
So ask for physical therapy and not a cataflan. Note to self. Okay. Thank you very much to you. Is that a question? I'm not seeing it properly because the light is bouncing off it. Can somebody read it?
What role does mindfulness
play in our physical well-being?
Huge.
Okay.
Huge.
It's a question. I'm not seeing who it's from, but thanks for that question.
Jackie Ronald Davis.
It's a huge part, and it's not my real area of expertise. I use Pilates-based therapy and some of the physical therapy, and that incorporates breathing. Many people say breathing is like a Panadol for the mind. It settles you, and mindfulness is key, yes.
Okay. So we now move to Kayla, the beauty and wellness industry. We heard from Tanya at the outset, who's the spa director here. We've heard from Summer. We'll be hearing more from Summer as the questions come in. But beauty, wellness. What's your journey? Tell us about your journey first and foremost. And is there a realization that wellness forms part of beauty?
Yeah, I think they're definitely interconnected. I think for me, it's interesting because you just listed like 12 different ethnicities that I am. So I think for me, my story is interesting, and why I got into beauty is very intentional. So, full Jamaican family, grew up, went to school in Canada, where I was one of one black person in school. Was always in Jamaica when I wasn't in school. So it was like I was half raised here, half raised there. When I was in Jamaica, I could be myself because people around me looked like me. When I was in Canada, I wasn't. So it was confusing. Needless to say, self-esteem issues when I was in Canada. All that type of stuff happened when I was in Canada. And
Okay, I mean, you look like kid and you have self-esteem. Okay, fine.
But it's a journey. It's a journey. So I internalized a lot of those things, right? And it wasn't until I got a little bit older and there were more people around me when I was in school that looked like me, right? Because you're hearing two different things. You're like, wait, which thing am I, you know? And so it wasn't until later when I realized, like, oh, there's nothing wrong with my features because I have black features, you know? And so when I got into media, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to do entertainment. I did a little bit of fashion. I did whatever. When I got into beauty, I was like, this is it. Because now I have a platform to normalize how we look. And so the next generation knows, you know, there's nothing wrong with you. It's fine if your hair, typically my hair is huge. I just put it in a bun because it would have been like this had I come to Jamaica with my hair like that. But, you know, like, it's fine for your hair to be natural. It's fine for your nose to be a certain shape. It's fine for your lips to be big. It's fine for, you know, all of these things, and it's wonderful and it's beautiful and it's great. And so, you know, that's a part of wellness, feeling good about yourself, feeling good in your own skin, feeling comfortable in your own skin. That's a part of your wellness, because if you don't feel good, nothing else is going to feel good in your life if you don't feel good about yourself first.
It has certainly taken a long time for, as you said, and other people to feel good about themselves, because, you know, there was a time when, you know, the market offered very little.
Yes.
You know, in terms of, you know, looking good, feeling good. There were dermatologists like Dr. Rose Ingleton to prescribe for, you know, people of color. Right? And, you know, to understand what to do to our skin. So from where you sit, how have you seen that change?
Yeah,
And, you know, what are the changes?
Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of change, I would say, in the past decade. And I think especially, and it's sad that it took, you know, the death of George Floyd for things to happen and for things to change stateside. People shouldn't have to die for people to wake up and see things. However, I'm starting to see a shift. I'm starting to see, you know, more products cater to skin of color, more makeup products available, more, you know, foundation ranges. Like now, before it was just kind of like, you know, there was the Max and the Makeup Forevers, and then before then there was like the Fashion Fair and all that kind of stuff. But now it's like every brand has to have that, right? Now there's conversations about, okay, hairstylists have to be trained to work with natural hair. You know, like that's starting to happen, because in just regular cosmetology school, you don't have that. You have to take extra courses to learn how to work with that hair type, right? Even in dermatology, of course, as you know, are not available for people with darker skin, right? It's dangerous for them to use lasers, right? And sometimes doctors are not trained to work on skin of color. There's no imagery for what certain types of ailments may look like on skin of color, right? Skin cancer, for example. You only see examples of it on white skin, and that's a problem. So how do you even know if something's wrong? You don't know what it looks like, right? Even with the training, again, a lot of dermatologists aren't trained to work with darker skin. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to diagnose you, and you end up with issues, right? So, I mean, of course, you know what you're doing.
Yes.
You know what you're doing. We're seeing more dermatologists being trained with these types of things, but I think it's really important.
But stop there though, Kayla. As you said, you know, the operative was, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? I wanted you to elaborate on your journey in the same way that Summer did with hers.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that you can just wake up overnight.
No.
And, you know, claim expertise in.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've been doing this for over a decade at this point, right? It takes a lot of time. You have to pay attention. You have to read the history. You have to know what the market was before it was a thing, you know?
Say that again for those in row 3.
You know, you have to know what it looked like. You have to look at, you know, the old ads. How did it look? I even was looking at like my mother's makeup. And my mother was very fair skinned. She was probably a little bit lighter than I was. And she used, I don't even remember which foundation she would use, but it didn't even work on her skin, right? Because she was a person of color. So, you know, to see this evolution of stuff happening, you really just have to pay attention to the market and who is being served and who is not being served. And in my work, I'm very intentional about who I represent, what is being represented, and how it's being spoken about. Because I want to make sure that, you know, people with darker skin are not put at the back. Because when you look at ranges, right, it's always the lightest first, the darkest at the back. I always try to put the dark one first and then the light one at the last. And it's not to say anyone is less or better, it just gives you a different perspective, right? Even when it comes to hair typing, I'll put 4C at the top and I'll put, you know, a looser texture at the bottom, just to say, like, you can come first. Just because your hair is whatever texture, you can still be first and come first, and this still deserves to be at the top.
You have obviously seen changes.
Yes.
In the decade that you've been part of the industry. Is it a good change, would you say, or is it a okay change?
I would say it's somewhere in the middle. I think from a forefront-facing perspective, we've seen a lot of change. We see people in the front who are diverse in body type, in hair type, in skin color, in all types of things, but behind the scenes, it's not exactly that.
Right.
We're not there yet, and I think that's the issue. I think until we are in decision-making positions where we can say, okay, this is what we want for this demographic, and I can actually speak to the people that we want to market to, we're not going to get there just yet. So, you know, while it's fantastic that I got this promotion at work and it sounds great and it's whatever, I take it very seriously because now I'm in a decision-making position. You know what I mean? Where I can say, you know what, I understand this demographic to the best of my abilities and I can help better serve them. And we can have better conversations and more honest conversations and more honest stories.
What is the market looking at right now? I've seen you between Victoria Beckham or Iman, and, you know, celebrities are definitely pushing products.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, the market is very saturated right now. There's a lot to choose from. It's difficult to know which one is which. I think you always need to look at formulation. You need to look at why things were formulated the way that they were, and you need to look at the products the way that they are, right? You always want to make sure that something is dermatologist recommended. You always want to make sure typically that things are fragrance free, because it can be very irritating for some people if you're using skincare products with a lot of fragrance. But mostly you just want to make sure that there's expertise behind it, because I think the beauty industry is just booming right now. And so everybody's just kind of...
So how do you handle the influx of celebs then?
I mean...
Sorry to
you
put
have
you on
to
the
just...
spot, but...
No, I mean, you have to just know what makes sense and what doesn't, right? Like, you look at the industry and you see so much stuff coming at you. And you have to just look and say, well, what is the what purpose does this serve in the market, right? Because there's already so many products in the market. What does this bring that's new? What does this bring that's innovative? What problem does this solve? Because if you're just putting another vitamin C serum on the market just for the sake of putting it on, why, right? Like, is it something that is a multi-use product? Is it something that, you know, it's makeup and skincare infused together? Does it serve a purpose? Is it making your life easier? Is it taking down steps in your routine? Is it offering some type of, you know, new formulation of vitamin C that's cutting edge and doesn't do things that, you know, a previous one did, right? And if it doesn't, why, you know, why is it here? You know, what is the why? That's what I always look for.
Yeah, well, that answers one of the questions that have just come up. How do you find the right product for you?
Yeah.
Be it your hair or skin?
Yeah.
So research then.
Research, and it's also trial and error, because everyone's hair and skin is just different. Like, something could work fantastic for me and not be so great for you, and vice versa, right? You know, depending on your hair porosity. Something could work great for a friend of yours, they love it, and it's not so great for you. So it's always trial and error. So I would always say, when you're trying products, especially, you know, higher end products, get the travel sizes. If you can get samples, get the samples first. Try them first, because it's an investment. It's worth it, because it's you and it's your hair and it's your face and it's your skin, and that's how you present yourself to the world. You're always worth the investment. But just make sure it's the right investment.
So how do we get, for example, you know, I swear by Benjamin oil, olive oil. I swear by, you know, the product too. So how do we get the world talking about it as much as we talk about it here?
People just have to try it and know it, you know, and test it. And I mean, it's available in New York. I see it in New York. I see it. I live in, you know, Brooklyn. But granted, there's a lot of Jamaicans in Brooklyn. So they have to serve us there. You know, but these are fantastic products that have been around for a very, very long time. But what I will say is that, you know, wherever Jamaicans go, they just build more Jamaicas where they go. There's no such thing as assimilation with Jamaicans. So, I mean, I just think that, with word of mouth, these products are gonna, be around. And I think that's actually, despite the fact that social media is so big and it has such an influence on the things that we try and use, I still think word of mouth is the most powerful thing. Because if you trust a recommendation from somebody, then you know it's good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there a doctor in the house? There is. in fact. But, we're talking about
So many
skin.
things that Kayla said that were so up my alley. I was loving that.
I recently listened to a wonderful podcast that you were on, Dr. Ingleton, and you spoke, it was really the luxury now. Skin is obviously a luxury. Great skin is a huge luxury, but it's also the luxury of the expertise behind the brand, behind the product. And that's why I wanted, from where Kayla sits, to speak to that. So welcome again. And
Thank you.
do share with us your journey before getting back to the luxury of great skin.
Awesome.
Don't look too closely to me.
I
I've got
never
water
judge.
here.
I never judge. So I'm Jamaican born and raised. I was here all the way through high school. I was one of those little fast track kids. I finished when I was 15. I was like, okay, what do I do now? And my mom was already in the U.S. and brought me over to the U.S. so I could do college and all the things that are much easier to get done when you're away. I didn't come from a family of means. I never thought to be a dermatologist. I never met one in my life. I didn't even really know that the specialty existed. I just knew I wanted to be a doctor. And, in New York, I had to assimilate very quickly and learn the ropes. But I finished my undergraduate training, went off to medical school. And then at the end of medical school, it's like, okay, so what are you going to do with this degree? Are you going to just go out and do general internal medicine or what? I first became aware of dermatology as a specialty. I didn't know it existed. Literally, I want to be a doctor. I'm going to be a doctor,
yes.
and that's all I knew. So it was a bit late to apply for a dermatology residency because it's super, super competitive. Everybody wants to be a dermatologist.
Really?
Yes. So I went off and I trained in internal medicine. So I could be an internist if I so desired, but I didn't desire to do that. I did a second training after that in dermatology. So I'm pretty broadly educated, about the whole body, because that's what internal medicine is. It's really the study of all the parts of the insides. And in my mind, I thought of dermatology as my subspecialty, which is not. It's a totally different specialty. But just so that the number of years of training wouldn't feel so horrible and daunting. It's like 3 years for internal medicine and another 3 for dermatology. And dermatology is now the study of everything on the outside. It's the ectoderm, the skin, the hair, and the nails. So that's all the study of dermatology. And it was so perfectly suited for me because I'm a very visual person. I'm very creative. My background is in dance and art and singing and acting. I'm like a little creative girl, but I also was good in the sciences. So that was a struggle during my whole life.
It's called choose one.
Which one are you going to be a dancer?
Right.
Yes. I was with, the Jamaica School of Dance and really advanced dancing. But I chose medicine because for long term, that's something that I could do for, pretty much the rest of my life, whereas my dance career would have been over at maybe 28, 30. Why did I say all that? I said all that to say that dermatology was a really perfect fit for me because I have a very good eye. And so, being able to look at someone and diagnose something very quickly really appealed to me. I look at you, ask a few questions. Based on the knowledge base, I can then say, okay, it's either this or this.
Right.
Ask a few more questions, and then we come down to what it really is. It's also surgical, procedural, and I love doing procedures. I didn't want to be a surgeon, but I wanted to work with my hands as well. And dermatology allowed me to do that. When I trained, beauty in dermatology was not part of the game. It was science. It was all about diseases and how you treat them, getting rid of skin cancers, infections, all that stuff. The lasers and the beauty and the Botox and the fillers and everything that I'm doing almost all day long right now came along later. So I was trained retroactively. And what you spoke to earlier, Kayla, reminded me that in my training, literally, first of all, I was the first Black person, this is so shameful, to have graduated from my dermatology residency program. And we're talking the late 1990s. And at that point, there still had never been another person of color. Of course, I was the only one in the training program at the time. There was another woman who started with me who was also Black, but she got pregnant and had to take some time off because she was expecting twins. So I ended up graduating ahead of her and being like, hey. So we are not trained in looking at skin of color. There is no special...
So during your training as a dermatologist, there was no...
Yeah. You may see a lot of Black people, a lot of Asian people in the clinics that you go for your rotation, but there is no specific training that I was given anyway about how you identify disorders in skin of color. It does look different in many cases, and also the kind of treatments that we dispense.
Yes.
You cannot tell, especially with hair conditions, it's really the area where we were worst trained, because the training was all about straight hair and how you diagnose and treat straight hair conditions. Curly hair behaves differently. I cannot give the same prescription instruction to wash your hair daily. Hello?
Hello?
That was like a big one. Oh, just go home, use this prescription shampoo every day to wash your hair. Yeah, right.
No.
I have a relaxer, or I have they don't understand the process that we go through to make our hair look the way it does. So again, retroactively being trained in how to take care of skin of color is something I just did on my own. I did courses, I failed at trying certain things that I was taught, and then I just incorporated my own, what would you do with your hair kind of experience, and with skin as well. And that's how I ended up, in the space that I am. I have a really, really, really busy dermatology practice that I started from scratch in Lower Manhattan in Soho, and back in the late 90s. I didn't work for people very long. I kind of went and opened my own practice really quickly because I'm Jamaican. Of course. I was working in a place and I just was like, this is so not me. They're not doing anything the way I would do it. The place doesn't look right. So I went and I tried a thing and did it myself. I have no business background. Somehow it worked.
And then now, well, with no business background, you're a fledgling company.
Say again?
A fledgling company of beauty. You've really moved into the beauty industry with your products.
I did, I had my dermatology practice that kept expanding, and I kept having to move because I'd always outgrow space. And the whole time, for let's say 10 years, 15 years, patients kept saying, so Dr. Eagleton, when are you going to have your skincare line? When are you going to have your skincare line? When are you going to have your skincare line? I'm like, listen, it's not that easy to see patients all day, and also ideate on concepts of how to create a skincare line. But what I was doing with my patients, and why they kept asking me this, is a typical appointment, your regimen. I ask a whole lot of questions. Because people always ask me, why does it take so long to get an appointment with you? It's because I take my time. I'm not going to run a mill. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what products you're using, look at your skin, look at your hair, and then I can process it and say, okay, here's what you're doing that you shouldn't be doing. Let's get rid of that. But here's what you're missing. With your skin type and your skin condition, you need to incorporate this. And so I'll jot it down for them. Maybe the cleanser they're using is perfect, but the serum or the cream or whatever they're using is not the right thing. So I was making little regimens, but my thing is I want it to be simple, because I found that when you give people too many steps, first of all, they'll do it maybe for a day or two. I don't see any results, no results, and they'll just stop using it because it's too much. So my whole idea all along was to make it simple. Even if I'm going to give a prescription product in the mix, it has to be something that's easy, and I love multifunctional products. You spoke to that earlier. Time for 15 steps. I really don't. It's too much.
It's ridiculous.
So
my hairdresser likes to give us 15 steps.
Thank you. I can't. I don't think it's realistic. I mean, it's a nice concept, but I fast forward to say, patients kept driving me to create a line, and when I created the line, I did it exactly the way brain works. Simple, but effective. I don't have time to waste, and neither do you. And I want to, have my name behind it. And, I wanted the products to be multifunctional. So I wanted to take all the thinking out of it for you and just say, just use this one. It's going to do all of these things, but that one product will do everything. And that's how I kind of went on the road.
So you started with 5 products, is that correct, or 1?
I launched 5, but I literally started with 1, which was the moisturizer. I created what I thought was the answer to everybody's request for what they wanted in a moisturizer. And this is my focus group are my thousands of patients for all those years coming in and saying, I just want a moisturizer. But the more I listened to them, the more I realized they didn't just want a moisturizer. They want the moisturizer to correct their wrinkles. They want the moisturizer to plump their skin. They want the moisturizer to give them glow.
That's right.
I'm like, you just said you want a moisturizer. You didn't ask for all of that. But I was filing all of this in my head, so I created a moisturizer that I thought answered all of those needs and was universal. My patient base is not just people of color. It's actually more predominantly non-people of color. We're catching up color. They're hearing about me and seeing me, and they're coming in. So we're going to go across the 50% mark soon. But I created things for all my patients. This wasn't just for the people who look like me.
Excellent.
And, I created the moisturizer with that in mind. Like, men can use it, young people can use it, you're 20, you use it, you're 75, you use it, because it has all the things in there that you need.
So is it a good idea for youngsters to start? I mean, Candice spoke to us about, young people coming into the spa. So do you see young people? I mean, how young are young people?
I take care of from birth till death.
Okay.
Is that the best analogy?
Yes.
I have 90-year-olds in my practice.
Right.
I have the 4-month-old whose parent brings them in. Oftentimes I don't get to see the kids because the wait time is so long to see me. They end up not coming for that reason.
What's the wait time, Doc?
Okay, so like maybe 3 months.
Are you kidding me?
2.5, 3.
I've heard worse. That's not that bad.
Right? It's not that bad. Tell them.
No,
They call my office.
especially for a New York dermatologist, it's not bad at all. It's actually not bad for New York.
So there you have it.
I see.
It's not bad.
But
No,
I
I just wanted to know if she was for the good ones.
For the good.
I just,
Yeah.
do you know how hard it is to get doctors to
I know it's hard.
Okay, fine. I just wanted to make sure she wasn't just being wicked to me.
No, but when people ask for, whenever someone asks for my card, and like, I want to send my friend and I want to send my coworkers.
Please don't.
I said, you know what? First of all, only send me the nice ones because I don't have the time. I can't bother with the people who are if they're mean and they're like, this is not the place for them. I am so caring and so attentive that I want to take care of the people who are just, they deserve my care. And then I tell them, just, tell them it's going to be a while for the first appointment, but believe me, when they come in, they're going to get enough of this.
Okay.
I'm not one of those who comes in and 5 minutes later you get a prescription and go. It's definitely worth it. But, I jumped around. The
Right, no, that's
moisturizer-
fine.
The moisturizer was first, and then I created these serums that were targeted because there are very specific things that people kept asking, and I saw patterns over those 20 years of practice, because I've been in practice for over 20 years now. People ask about the same things, but they say it differently.
Differently, yes.
Yeah, so number one problem, discoloration.
Yes.
And I found that, especially in my people of color, that is almost always where it comes back to. And the discoloration could be from a lot of things. It could be from the sun. It could be from having melasma, which is a hormonal condition where you get dark patches. It could be because you had breakouts and the breakouts went away, but now you have all the marks.
Yes.
And they don't see the pimples, they're seeing the marks only. They don't. So hyperpigmentation was one big issue, so I created a serum specifically targeting that. So very focused on problems. I created another serum for breakouts because acne and rosacea and bumps, like razor bumps and stuff, second most common thing I saw. So I have a booster that's just for that, or serum. And then I created one that was for hydration because in the US anyway, maybe not as much a problem here, but people's skin just get really dry and they're always looking for the extra moisture, but without heaviness. So I said, I got you.
Yes.
I'm going to create a serum that calms and hydrates. So if your skin tends to get red and flaky and irritated, that would be the serum for you. So you're actually covering a bunch of things. I said red and flaky and irritated, right?
Yes.
That's a whole lot of issues you're covering with one serum. And the fourth serum, which is the final serum, is the anti-aging one, but I didn't want to call it anti-aging. So I called it retexturizing retinol serum, because that one targets all the factors that come in as you get older. But I thought, for launch, target what's most common, what you're hearing repeatedly, and then later you add the other things. So the thinking is targets whatever your particular issue is, not what your friend issue is, and you pair it with the moisturizer. And it's unisex, and there's no fragrance, there are no parabens. I made sure when I was making it, which by the way I made it from scratch, I'm behind all of the ingredients in there. I tell the chemist what I want. I say, go find it from a clean source for me, and here are all the things I don't want. I don't want any animal testing. I don't want parabens in there. I don't want fragrances. I don't want any mineral oil. Like all the things as a dermatologist I know are problematic. I said, we don't need all of that. Put it in packaging that is recyclable. So we have these milk bottle things. You guys will see them later.
Yes.
But just like thinking of the environment and thinking about being effective and really targeted to the things that I was hearing much. So you pick a serum, and then anyone can use the moisturizer, because we all need one. It's just a two-step. Two-step, you get it all done.
So how did you go from that now to the shelves of Sephora?
Oh, isn't that crazy?
I mean, that's fantastic. And you are in the top establishments.
Novia, it's been
top brick and mortar places.
It's been mind-boggling. I launched, soft launched, in September of 2019. And for those 3 or 4 months towards the end, for the end of the latter part of that year, I was selling on my direct-to-consumer site, rosemdskin.com. And, you get a little bit of traction, a few people buy. It's like, oh, yeah, people are buying. And
The good people.
the good people. Well, it didn't hurt that I launched. When I launched in September, I had a huge article in Vogue, like a half page.
Didn't hurt, I mean.
With me, big picture. Well, they had Iman on the because somehow they squeezed it out of me that Iman was a patient. I don't typically say who my patients are, but they wouldn't let up. They're like, we're Vogue. You have to have a celebrity name.
You have to drop a name.
They didn't drop one. They dropped 3. And I'm like, okay, you're killing me. I hope these people never see that I mentioned their names, because that's just not the way I operate. But anyway, I launched at that time because they were putting the article out.
Right.
And so people bought because they saw and they heard, oh, she's Jamaican. She has this oh, I didn't say that. The Jamaican superfruit blend is what I put in as my secret sauce. That was my throwback to my heritage.
Nice.
It's just a concoction of extracts, fruit extracts, that you find commonly in the Caribbean and in Jamaica specifically. But they also have skin benefits. So I thought, okay, this is how I'm going to be different. You're right, new and different.
New and different, yes.
The why. So it wasn't just put in there to be cute. It was definitely something targeting, skin issues. It does work for that.
All right. So Vogue did
how
the
did I get
article.
into? So we had the lockdown because of COVID as soon as I launched,
Yeah.
and then suddenly George Floyd happened in the U.S. Right, and so everybody was on the Black Lives Matter bandwagon, and suddenly retailers started reaching out to me. People that I'd reached out to before who didn't. Were like, it's
whatever.
cute.
Yeah.
It's nice that you're a dermatologist and you have a super very experienced background, but okay, all right, we'll get back to you. Suddenly, all the major retailers, and so I fast forward to 1 year out of the door. I was in Neiman Marcus, both online and in store. Not all stores, about 4 stores. Saks.com, and in some stores. This Net-a-Porter, anybody heard of Net-a-Porter? Which is how you can get it in Jamaica, by the way. Hello.
Say it again.
Net-a-Porter.com. Suddenly Sephora, the big horse. They're like, how did you even find me? But they have a 15% pledge, which I know you know about, that they want to see representation on their shelves of 15% of their brands being Black owned. So it was all about timing.
Yes.
That I was launched at that time, and they were with the kind of experience and background I have, that I have this amazing draw in terms of the celebrity attachment, the amount of publications I've been in, the amount of television shows I've been on. They loved all of that. It's like the whole package. She got products, she's a dermatologist.
Yes, celebs like
and
her.
stuff works. Like they were seeing all of the reports. Like, you know, people, I was on these lists. I was on Beyonce's list. She has that parade, the black parade list. I'm like, how did they even find out about me?
Of course, you know.
You knew?
You're all over the place. How did they not find you?
You know, in my head, I'm still feeling like I'm this little small fry. I'm like under the radar, you know. But it's amazing.
So strange when we do that to ourselves?
Yeah, it's crazy. But now I don't do that anymore because now I'm in like every retailer that I wanted to be in, and I had to turn away from some. I had to say no to Nordstrom's.
Oh, wow.
I had to, yeah. Oh, I know. I'm still like processing, guys. But yeah, God bless.
That's
God
fantastic.
bless.
That is really fantastic. So
I know Neiman is. You can go to Neiman Marcus.
So the
But
people,
can I just say one store that I just launched?
The people in the UK want to know how they can buy your products. You see, so
You know, Net-a-Porter is perfect for them.
so okay, Net-a-Porter online. Yes.
Yeah, that's the best one
Yeah,
because
sorry.
they do all of Asia and they do the UK and Europe.
Okay, and and in Jamaica.
And in Jamaica, I actually checked that just a weekend ago. I met with the buyer from there, and she said, according to our list, we send to Jamaica.
Okay.
So you just go online and you can order there. In the US, I encourage a lot of people to use our site, the Rose MD Skin site, because I have a quiz on there.
I took it.
You took the quiz?
I took the quiz. It's super easy. Yes,
an easy
I need it to be easy. It was great, very helpful.
I figured not everybody can come in to see me in the practice, but everybody can answer 4 questions.
Yes.
It takes like
And
20
we
seconds.
watch you on your IG lives as well, so we
Yeah.
get, you know, so we get information there.
And it tells you which products would be good for you
Right.
based on what you're perceiving to be your skin problem.
But the luxury of skin, the luxury of a good skin product, right? So talk about being in the right place at the right time, because the 15% pledge aside, your products work and your practice is for all, right? So that to me is a true test, that all can come through the door and, you know, feel comfortable and know that your products actually work for them. What are the lessons? What's your takeaway from all of this?
You know?
They say preparation and opportunity equals success. But what are, you know, you stuck to your guns, of course, you know.
I'm a person of great perseverance. I'm relentless, but not in like a harsh way. I'm just focused, and I don't ever doubt myself. I have this paper weight on my desk that says everything is possible, and it's pretty much the motto I've always lived by. I'm smart enough. I'm in all the right spaces, even socially. I just find that I just end up in places. I'm like, you know, I'm around people and I'm like, oh, they'll ask, what do you do? And I tell them, and then I'm saying, oh, well, what do you do? Oh, I'm the president of such and such. I'm the CEO of the blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
We were just kicking it.
Yeah, you know,
So in my life, there's been a lot of serendipity that's come into play, but I think of that as blessings.
Absolutely.
I come prepared. I'm always working to be the best at what I do. I don't like mediocre. I can't bother. If you're not going to show up and be at your best, and it reflects even in the way that I practice, my office space, the way it's run, the people that I have working with me, everything. You have to reflect what I am about. And I'm about excellence. And for that reason, a lot of times I'm the unicorn in the space, right? People expect when they see it's a black person, a black dermatologist, they're thinking it's going to be like, okay, so this is going to be like, you know, the corner store kind of experience. No, I don't see why you can't have a luxury experience. And that's why I thought with my products, why can't you have a prestige product that is going to target the needs of skin of color, not exclusively, but absolutely target their needs as well. As well.
Yeah.
But, you know, be a product that is in stores like Sephora.
Absolutely.
And in stores like Violet Grey and Neiman's and Saks, Why not? Why not have me create it?
Violet grey, Doc.
I'm experienced, I'm knowledgeable, and I have years of successfully treating people. I know what the products, ingredients are that work, as opposed to, which unfortunately my competition right now are all the celebrities.
That's not competition. You don't
there's an
compete where you don't compare.
So
The marketplace is
I
inundated,
asked, that's something that I put out to Kayla. Your competition, you are a dermatologist, you are trained, you work with a chemist, you have products, yet your competition is a celeb. How do you handle that?
Everything is possible.
You're a celeb too.
I walk into the room with the confidence and the knowledge that what I've created is based on actual science, actual 20 plus years of a focus group that is my patient base, 20 plus years of seeing results from certain ingredients and understanding scientifically why they work and how they work, knowing what not to do or not to include in your products, and not just slapping my name on a label that, a lot of celebrities, I mean, since we're talking about it, they'll just have their name put on something. They license their name to something. They don't know nothing about what's in there. They don't know what a ceramide is from a niacinamide. They don't know retinol. They don't know anything. They just know, I'm famous, I can parlay this into some other vehicle. So I don't even compare myself, really. I just say they're the competition because they are the other ones pushing products right now. Yeah.
And you don't doubt yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Not for a second. I can't say that when I love Rihanna to death. I love Rihanna, right? But when Rihanna launched her skincare line, she sold like $5 million in a week worth of products.
Yes.
Like, darn, fame does that. So for me, it's a slow trudge, and I build, and I know based on the feedback I'm getting that the pace is what it should be. I didn't do this out the gate then plummet or something. I'm slowly rising, and the number of people who are writing about the product this month alone, because it's Black History Month.
Amazing press.
Crazy.
Yes.
Like 20 different publications or lists that I'm on.
Yes.
And so I'm starting to not get the wow, they know about me effect. I'm like, oh, they know about me too. Oh, cool.
That's good. Yes.
Yeah.
That's good. Doc spoke about celebs and obviously, not that they really are competitors and, you're in competition with them, but we understand that you are in competition because, as you said, if you're Rihanna, it's called next. Summer, how do you, for example, you are trained, you are focused, we've seen you go through the highs and the lows, the impact of COVID literally devastated quite a few businesses in Jamaica, impacted yours as well. Doc spoke about excellence and knowing who you are and being confident. How have you, stood the course?
I think, as Dr. Inglesfield said, consistency is key, and believing in yourself and not settling. I have a saying, the enemy to great is good.
It's good.
Right? The enemy, yeah. So you always have to, or if you're not growing, you're shrinking, So it's always to try to be better, to try to commit to being a lifelong learner, which is why I went back to school after 20 years in the field.
When you say, sorry to interrupt you, not settling, what do you mean? Could you elaborate a bit more?
Well, you've come to my office in Kingston, in Jamaica. I don't want it to feel like a regular clinic. I want it to, from when patients walk in, I want them to feel calm, a great atmosphere for healing, and we don't run the mill either. We see patients one at a time for either half an hour or hour-long slots. So those are things that are important to me. Could we make more money if we ran the mill? Yes, we could, but that's not what we're about.
I love it.
It's not what we're about, and all of my team members that, you know, we call it the Body Forte way. We want it, you know, we want to be different, and we want to be we want to do what we think is the best. It's not, might not be the best, but it's what we believe in, and we stand by that. So, yeah.
And you're happy with the results, and what is your end game, as they would say? We know Dr. Ingleton wants to be around the world. Her name will be as known as Oprah's and Rihanna shortly.
Yes, my husband keeps asking me that question. What is your end game, honey? I need.
Hi, Bruce.
I'm not sure. I would like to, you know, reach more people, and I think the vision is, you know, impacting the world, not just Jamaica. You know,
Yes.
you know, impacting the world with. And you know, I had a great mentor, Dr. Brent Anderson, when I was working in Miami for 10 years. And you know, he wanted to reach the world through Pilates and movement. And so I'm very much, you know, and that's something the pandemic gave, is you could reach people outside
of
because a lot of these things went virtual.
Yeah.
Right? So I need to look at my end game. But yes, helping whoever needs help with feeling better and functioning better is my end game, and getting out there a bit more.
A question for you, Summer. Do you suggest coming in for a consultation for assessment before joining Body Forte?
Well, Body Forte is not really a joining. It's not really a gym. So I think, and we get called that a lot. We get called a gym a lot. We're a physical therapy clinic that also does Pilates-based classes, that most of our patients graduate from physical therapy, and they say, we don't want to leave. We want to make sure we feel this, we keep feeling this good. We say, well, why don't you just come to Pilates twice a week for maintenance? So for physical therapy, yes, an assessment, as you do with your patients. You ask a lot of questions. I mean, many times before I even test or put my hands on a patient, many times I'm 90% sure what's wrong with them before I, you know, the tests are just kind of like that's just to kind of seal the deal. Say, oh yes, I knew it. But yes, consultations are important. And remember, in Jamaica, you need a referral to come for physical therapy. It's not worldwide, but you do in Jamaica. Yes.
So we can get a letter from the doctor to visit you.
You can, although we are trying to have it become more preventative, because if you can prevent things from happening in the first place,
Very true.
Why not? And that means starting early and not ignoring things and being self-aware. Yeah.
A question for you, Kayla. Can you give us an idea of what it takes to get to the top in such a tough industry?
Wow. I mean, everybody's journey is different. I think for me, I just stayed true to myself and my values, and I didn't bend. And I wasn't going to be somebody who was just going to put up fluff for the sake of clicks and for the sake of being popular and for the sake of just doing things the way everybody else did it.
But how do you, you're in New York, Kayla. You're in a very competitive environment. So when you say that you were not prepared to do stuff for the sake of clicks, how did that come across? Because, you know, in a society field, Doc mentioned it, I mean, you know, you're trained, you are, you know the science, you know the products, you know the names, and yet you're competing with people who don't even know what the terms are. They don't even know what's in the product.
There's a lot of people that don't know what they're doing, just in general, as I think we've seen.
Indeed.
Just in the world. But I mean, I think you have to just know that you know what you're doing. You know, like what you said, you have to believe in yourself. You have to know that what you're doing is good and it's great and it's fantastic and people take to it. And I mean, after a while, the work just speaks for itself. You don't have to speak for yourself anymore, and people see it. And you don't have to be loud about it, and you have to be, you know, cocky about it. You just do good work and let it speak for itself, and just let life take you where it takes you.
So what's next for you?
A nap? No.
You know, Kayla, you didn't just, you came in yesterday evening, Kayla. Come on.
I don't know. I don't like to think too far ahead anymore into my career. I just want to do what I'm doing now and do it well, and I'll see where life takes me. And I'm just open to possibilities, and I'm open to the future, and I just let things work, and I just let things happen. And I've always landed on my feet, even today.
That's because, you know, We'll discuss that later. We'll discuss that again later. Can Dr. Ingleton please remind us which serum is best for a 25-year-old with acne blemishes? Thank you.
That's
A
perfect.
question.
The name of that particular serum is the Blemish Control Booster.
Okay, so the name is the Blemish
It's
Control
the
Boost.
green one. So I color-coded my bottles so that it was easy. And the colors that are at the bottom are all the colors I see when I sit by the shore in the Caribbean.
And here you are. And here you are.
So there's coral. The
Yes.
signature moisturizer has a coral color. The blemish control has a green, which is like, the algae and whatever is in the water. The coral, we understand. Then there's the calming hydration booster, which is blue, soothing, that's the C. Then then there's the complexion brightening booster, which also it has this color that looks, it's more like a sandy color. It just, all of them remind me of things I saw by the water. And the only one that's kind of generic in my mind is the retexturizing retinol. It's a grayish color. It's just one of the colors that I see when I look at the skyline by the beach, but it's not specific.
Right.
But yeah, so in answer to their question, I'll jump back. And the reason that one works, by the way, is because it has a lot of anti-inflammatories in there. So it's not a prescription grade product. It has niacinamide and turmeric and a lot of vitamin C products, ingredients in there, fruit acids that will help unclog the pores. So it's perfect. All the teenagers are using it. And
That person asked for about a 25-year-old. Does age matter when you're, no, your products
I
are for?
specifically designed it so that they were problem focused, not skin color, skin type, age focused. Just pick an issue, and if that's the issue that you have, that's the serum for you.
Gotcha.
So if you have blemishes, I'm so British, right? It's blemish. A blemish is a pimple. It's acne. It's razor bumps, by the way. It's rosacea, which is more common in whiter skin. But if it's a pimple, you get the blemish control. So it doesn't matter your age; it matters your skin condition.
Gotcha. Okay. Back to you. We're going to stay with you, Doc, because I want you to speak more about the luxury of good skin.
Yeah, I tell you. So when people come to my practice, it's a nice compliment that they say, "Oh my God, I want skin like yours. How do I get skin like yours?"
Yes, because I'm looking at you and I'm hating you.
I smile, I say thank you first.
Thank you, yes.
And then first of all, I think a good portion of good skin is inherited.
Genetic.
So there
That's
is
very
genetic.
true, very true.
But
How old is your mom is celebrating her birthday
Isn't
soon?
it crazy? My mother turned 96 years old last Saturday. The woman don't have one wrinkle.
And looks 40.
The face
Yeah.
is just slowly deflating because that's what happens. You
Yeah.
just lose your volume. But she's so beautiful. Her skin
Yeah.
is insane. So I know that I got a good portion of this genetically. But you can't be given good things and then don't take care of it and expect
True.
for it to look good.
Yeah.
So
True.
I'm really big on educating on skin maintenance. You
Right.
need to have,
Could you
you don't
educate
have to
us
have
on
an elaborate system, but you need to have a system that you're consistent with. You're not doing it once a week and then going to bed every night with your makeup on and then thinking, well, why? I don't understand why my skin is breaking out. Guilty? Anyone guilty? Alicia? I just embarrassed somebody. Why do you speak to me that way? No, but
Well, why shouldn't you go to bed with your makeup on?
because
In the movies, you see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. In the movies, you're supposed to wake up and look like Cecile,
course.
So, that's why people feel that, you've got to go to bed.
my biggest pet peeve is the not cleaning one's skin at the end of the day, and my patients all hear it from me. I don't care how you do it. If you're so lazy that you don't want to go and sit and wash and remove, they have wipes now. Take
Yes, they have
everything off.
wipes.
Take the city off of your face, the pollution. This is the part that grosses people out. I say, when you talk to your coworkers and little droplets of their spit end up on you, you want to go to bed with that? That usually works. They're like, oh, no. we'll clean my face. Clean off everything that you encountered during that day before you go to bed at night. And I'm a big believer in putting on things that are restorative at night on your skin. So while you're sleeping, we can have some repair going on.
Right.
Put your retinol on if you're worried about your skin aging and you want to keep your plump and you want to keep the lines at bay. Put on a really great moisturizer, like, I don't know, the one I created. Something that, hydrates your skin, so it's all doing the work while you sleep. You wake up in the morning and the skin is just glowing and ready to receive whatever the day brings. But I think the most important part of the day for me is the nighttime ritual.
Yeah.
Even if you're just going to wash your face and call it a day because you can't imagine putting a product on your skin, I think that most important first step of just removing everything from the day is super important. In the daytime, I try to keep things simple. A lot of people don't need to wash their faces with a cleanser in the day. If they're like, I'm just opposed, I'm like, that's fine. How about just water? Just in your shower, wash your face. You're just taking off the products you slept in, or you're just taking off, just excess oil that may have built up overnight. There's nothing really that needs to come off. The end of the day cleansing is much more important. And I'm just a stickler about putting on preventative things during the day, like antioxidants that are going to prevent what the environment does to your skin. We all are going out, right? And when you go out, you're encountering cigarette smoke, pollution, the sun, your coworkers. I'm just kidding. I just had to throw that in there. No, but the antioxidants are what are going to prevent the breakdown of your skin. I'm all about prevention in the daytime. And I'm also about treatment in the daytime. If you have an acne problem or a rosacea problem or an eczema problem or something, I try to get them to put their products on in the day because people are more alert and ready to do stuff. Chances are the nighttime ritual gets tossed by the wayside. So I'm thinking, and I actually ask people, what are you doing now? Before you met me, what was your routine? And if you have an elaborate 7-step thing, I say, yes, this is somebody I can get to do stuff. Because they're already very involved in skincare. But if you tell me it's like a bar soap in the shower and I go to work, I know who I'm dealing with. So I have to make sure that my regimen is very simple and multifunctional, because you're not going to do 5 steps. So if I could just get you to wash your face in the shower with the bar soap, since that's what you're used to, I just say maybe put this one product on. And if it's one product, I think as a dermatologist, usually it's going to be a sunscreen, because we know that the sun causes a lot of the issues that we see later. And as people with skin of color, where the focus is not so much on getting skin cancer, even though it does occur. I have many patients of color as dark as me, with melanoma, with other skin cancers. It's not as common, but it does occur.
It does occur, yeah.
But our tendency is to go, oh, please, we don't need sunscreen, sure, we have melanin, we're good. So if I'm going to get you to do one product in the day, it's going to be a sunscreen product. But again, I like multifunctional things. So get a sunscreen that has some extra stuff in there.
Yeah.
Maybe it has the antioxidant in there already, so you can do one step. So I work with people based on what they will do, but that's my processing that goes on, and I try to tailor to the person.
And you'll soon have a sunscreen.
My sunscreen is, I'm about to get back in the lab with that, for that. My cleanser is coming out next month. Is it March yet? It's March.
It's March next week.
It's coming out March, end of March. The most delicious superfruit brightening cleanser, with all my Jamaican superfruit and sugar cane extract and all this good stuff in there. It's just lovely. I've been in love with this, but it's been taking a long time because of all the production delays because of the COVID madness.
Right.
So I'm only now getting it released. But yes, sunscreen is coming next year.
In an age of instant gratification, your products are wonderful as well. But you said initially that you spend a lot of your hours doing Botox and fillers.
In the practice.
Practice. So how do you feel about that? Is it against what you were taught as a dermatologist, or does it? Do you feel that that it's a given that people will want it?
It's an extension, actually. So just having the basic understanding as a dermatologist about what happens to skin as it ages, we all age, and no matter, even if you have really good genes, there's some things that just happen to humans as they get older. You hit your 40s, there are certain changes that are going to occur. I don't care who you are. You hit your 50s, Sudden color change. So what do we do about that? I'm all about problem solving. I heard that. So, why panic? Come on, and let's talk about what the possibilities are. A lot of people of color, and I'm including men and women, think that these procedures are not for them. Oh, that's white people stuff. No, sir, I'm not doing no Botox. Filler? Really? Me? Chemical peel? No, sir. You come in and we talk about what, again, it's problem focused. It's not skin color focused.
Yeah.
Botox doesn't know that your wrinkle between your eyebrows that's always there even when you're not frowning is because your skin is a particular color. It knows what the muscle is doing. And what Botox does is it causes a relaxation of the muscle. If it's overdone, it causes paralysis of the muscle, where you're like, you know that look. You've seen it.
Frozen.
I don't do that kind of work. I definitely approach Botox treatments like I do artistry. It's like there are nuances. You tailor it to the person's face. How much are they using that muscle? And therefore, how much do you need in order to make the muscle move less? Never wanting to paralyze. You should not look like a mummy with no expression. This is smile. I'm smiling. I'm also crying. I'm very sad right now.
I've seen
Never.
many in Midtown.
Oh,
Many in
it's so saddening. And then fillers, right? So,
Yes.
well, first I should say for Botox, there is no age. I have models in their 20s in my practice these girls are on shoots, and guys, and they're in the sunlight doing swimsuit things, and they're doing this in the camera, and they're being yelled at by the team. Stop squinting, stop moving your eyebrow like that. And so they come and they get me to do a little bit of Botox, but I can't do it to the point where anybody can tell. So I've become very skilled. I'm like the stealth Botox worker now. I can do it and then nobody knows what you did. It's like, oh, suddenly she's not squinting in the camera anymore. So there is no age at which Botox becomes necessary. It becomes necessary when you have repetitive movements that are creating lines that are there when you're not making the expression. The forehead line, the lines around here that are there even when you're not smiling. So if, again, thinking about it as a problem-focused treatment, fillers.
Yes.
When you get to around 40, I'm going to say like the 40s, you start to notice a difference. Here, these lines just suddenly start looking like they're a little bit more indented. You start to see some stuff going on here. It's like, wait, is it that I have dark circles? What's going on under my eyes? These are just anatomical changes that happen in humans in their 40s. What do we do to fix that? I use fillers. I'm putting things under your skin that are very much similar to what you had naturally, but you're starting to lose as part of the natural aging process. The difference between how I do it and how we are all seeing it done in a lot of places is the heavy-handedness of the practitioner doing it. Not everybody who's injecting is a dermatologist or a plastic surgeon. There are estheticians, there are nurses. Certainly they're getting trained, or they're telling us they're getting trained, but I'm not as confident in people who are not physicians unless I've seen their work and I know that the doctor was working with them for years and years and they're really good at this now and they're on their own. But in general, a lot of this overdone work that you're seeing all over California, just look at Hollywood in general, the cheeks that are out to here that look like two big apples that were set on your face, the lips that turn up and pucker out, that you can spot when you're walking to the side and you just see the duck lips like that. It's horrifying. It's not the way it was supposed to be done, but everybody who can hold a needle in their hand is injecting. You've seen the butt stuff. I don't do any of the butt work, but the same thing.
You've seen the butts.
You have a needle, you can inject it? Oh, which hotel are you staying? I can come there and you can do it for me? Okay. So people are doing things all over the place, and that's why you see the bad results. The fear, right? So I have to take it down 15 notches when people come in, because they need to be reassured that it's something that they can do and they can do it, and you don't have to tell a soul you did anything. At least, again, it's just the way I work. I mean, I just want you to look refreshed. That should be it. You should just get people tell you, oh, you look like you just came back from vacation. Where were you? And then you can create the story that you wish. Yes, Aruba was fun, or St. Bart's was lovely.
It was lovely indeed. Remind us which sites send your products to Jamaica. That's
Oh,
you,
Net
Dr. Rose.
Porter is how it's spelled.
Porter.
NETAPORTER.com. It's pronounced Net-a-Porter. They definitely send to Jamaica.
Okay. And do you have any consultation in Jamaica? Well, she's having one now, and it's free.
You know, I end up I'm doing consultations and I'm at parties trying to have a drink.
Oh my God.
Can you look at this for me?
No, stop it.
I don't want that.
Stop it.
But, you know, it's funny, I do ponder in my future coming down with some kind of regularity and just doing.
Oh, please do.
Yeah, I
Doc.
have a friend who's offered me his office in Kingston.
Oh, really?
And he's like, you know, it's a no-brainer, just come
Just come.
once every whatever, and because, yeah, right?
It is a no-brainer.
Oh, guys, you guys are in favor of that, right?
Yes.
Bag
Yes.
will travel. The only things I wouldn't be able to do are like laser treatments. I do so much laser work because those machines are big. It's like taking a television with you. Not the old-fashioned television, not the flat screen. So it's like these are big, big machines. But yeah, you know, consultations, prescribing routines and stuff, and then directing you to buy products wherever you can get them.
Right.
And doing Botox and filler properly. I'm definitely open to that. I just have to carve out some time in my life. Kind of busy right now, but I'm gonna. That's in my horizon. You talk. Yeah, definitely.
From Stacey Parchment, where is Summer's business located? I love Summer's name.
Sovereign Commercial Center on Barbican Road in Kingston. Yes.
It's kind of hidden, so you have to kind of know where you're going.
Between Uncorked and Sovereign
Right.
Supermarket. Those are the two places people know.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Can I just say one thing?
Please. You can say lots. We've not
I just
finished it.
thought-
I'm just interrupting to get
I
the
just
questions
thought of
out
something
of the way.
because my practice manager reminded me that people can do telehealth consultations with
Yes.
me. Because I do that anyway.
Oh, do you do telehealth?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had to figure out how to do it during the lockdown.
COVID, true.
And so even though I'm so booked, you know, we can find times for mostly cosmetic consultations by telehealth. It's hard to see rashes, and it's hard to see skin quality, I find on the cameras that we're using.
That's true.
So I'm very challenged, but you know, theoretically you could just call my office in the US, the 212-673-7100. And say you just want to book a cosmetic consultation by telehealth. And you can be anywhere in the world for that, yeah. I just thought of that, sorry.
Okay. Love what you said, Kayla, about your work eventually speaking for itself. Amazing job. Great job, ladies. Very useful information. I'm excited to try your products, Dr. Rose Ingleton. Okay, back to you, Kayla.
Okay.
I had no idea that people could just walk around. I thought you had to be a doctor to inject the Botox and fillers. But from where you sit, how do you report on beauty when you're looking at people who are obviously over-pumped, for want of a
I don't. I think the way that we report on cosmetic procedures is we're not trying to influence anyone to do anything. We're just giving you the information. We're not saying you need to do this or you don't need to do this or you have to look this way or you don't have to look this way. It's just here's the information if you want it. We always consult with dermatologists, plastic surgeons for our stories, make sure that we're getting expert perspectives there. But here it is. If you want it, this is the best way to do it. We answer all the questions we could possibly think that people would ask, the most common questions in our stories. And that's it. We don't tell people that they need to do anything or you need to look like this or you shouldn't look like that. I mean, if somebody wants to walk around with lips like this, that's your lips, your choice, as far as I'm concerned, you know, but we just give people the information. We always make sure that we're using medical experts in our stories.
But, you know, how do you, I mean, I'm just trying to work, how do you get to the point where your lips are like that? I mean, is it the doctor's fault? Whose fault is it?
It's
Dr.
twofold.
Ingleton?
It's a conversation. People refer their friends to the people that they go to. And if you're out and your lips are like this, and your friends are like, oh my God, those lips look amazing. They send them to the person that did it. And so that person, that's their aesthetic. And it seems to be regional. You know, I do notice that there are clusters and certain age groups of people, but they all hang out together. It's like all the actresses who live in XYZ zip code that work in the same type of genre. They want to look that way, or the 20-somethings who, you know, all their girlfriends look like that. They have a lot of disposable income, and they think it's hot. They think it looks fabulous, and it's like the more if you can tell that I had it done, then it was worth it. That kind of mentality. So it's like it's all over the place.
I have a question.
Yes, I have a question. First of all, Doc, you have traumatized me when you told me I was going to age.
Lord have mercy.
I'm so traumatized, you have no idea. Secondly, give me a moment, let me, sorry. Secondly, Doc, give me a moment, let me remove 2 people from my best friend so I can add you and Summer. Kayla is already on the list. She made a note of that yesterday. She made sure she was on the cut. Yes, Kayla, you made the cut. So, Doc, let me explain. I'm going to come to New York to you, but I can't wait 3 months because I'm Cecile Levy. In case you don't know, I'm fabulous. So we're going to have to work out that wait period.
We use the back door entrance. I have 2 entrances.
Oh, you have? Oh, you do. I might not have Rihanna's name, but just look at me, Doc. For you, we can talk.
We'll talk, darling.
We can talk, darling. New York is really my home. I grew up in New York. My daughter still lives there, near where you practice. So I am going to come and see you because my biggest problem is dark spots.
Right? Number 1 problem.
Yes, my huge problem. I'm not even going to call it age because we're, I mean.
And that's not age. That's not related to aging.
Yeah, exactly. Dark.
You live in the sunshine.
I do live in the sunshine, so it is sunspot. So I need to deal with it because I figure if I get rid of it, I'm getting rid of at least 20 years of my, I mean, Doc, I was born in the 60s, but people think it's 80s. So can you imagine now, 90s? So that is what I'm dealing with. So I'm coming to see you, Doc. No, we're going to be best friends.
Yes, please.
I love everything about you. And then you're a doctor.
Lord mercy.
Darling,
I have
friend.
all
no,
kinds of
darling, I'm having a little thing there now. Number, we're going to have to share the best position. So we're going to be doing that, Doc. And I'm very serious.
It would be
Nothing
my
I say, I'm
pleasure.
joking.
It would be my pleasure.
Yes, I'm very serious. You're going to see me in your office in New York. And we're going to be doing lunch and all that. And we're going to invite Kayla because she's down the road.
Love.
My daughter Kennedy too, who needs to come and see us. And now, my other question now that we've sorted out my new bestie, Summer, is chiropractor and a therapist the same thing? Is it the same? Do I still need to go to a chiropractor if I come to you to sort out like I had a broken collarbone? Or, you know, my back, or, you know, I get backaches, or you're feeling a little creaky. Do I need one or the other, or it's 2 different practices?
I think they're both wellness. The avenue is the same. A chiropractor uses high velocity thrust to adjust your skeletal system. We can be trained to do that. I'm typically a little bit more gentle. I save that for last. And we, as physical therapists, we deal a lot more in maintaining and dealing with, do you need to be adjusted because there's a weakness there, or why do you need to be adjusted? Okay. So it's a little bit of a different path, but certainly chiropractors are wonderful and much needed as well. But again, the why are you having this problem?
Right.
And that could be 20 different reasons. So that's the key, and finding somebody who knows how to get to the bottom of that why.
A car accident from a broken shoulder, which is healed, but every night I have severe pain in the right arm from that accident. What, 3 years now? Almost 3 years later. So that would be my why. So
that would be your why. I would definitely, if you were my patient, I would look.
Well, we can work on that somewhere. As long as I don't have to wait 3 months, Summer.
I'd look at a lot of things above and below and find the reason, because the reason you're having the pain where you're having might not be coming from there, might be coming from somewhere else.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Keela, fabulous senior darling. And congratulations on your new promotion.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. Yes.
Dr. Ingleton, could you speak to looking after the skin on the neck and the décolletage, especially with respect to aging and being an extension of the face care routine? That's a question from Ms. Jackson.
Very good question. That's the area that gives us away a lot of times.
Yeah.
I'm quite disappointed at how few treatments we have right now. I'll tell you what's available, and it has to get better. With the neck, a lot of times we lose tone, right? So there's laxity. Usually around the 50s, you start to see that in most people. I'm glad she leaves. Look at her. There is no such thing as aging. You get a little bit of laxity. And so there are treatments that we do in my office that involve microneedling and radiofrequency treatments that help to stimulate tightening. Yeah. There are also ultrasound treatments, something called Ulthera that's available. But those are procedures that you get done. And what it does is over a repeated number of treatments, you see gradual tightening and lifting. Separately, I use Botox in my practice for that. This is an off-label use of Botox to relax the muscle, and so you get a snapping up. So I do it on a lot of women along the jawline, along the neckline here, so that will help to lift. Okay. When you start to get that, the early signs of sagging, it's like miraculous. But again, it's off-label, but I do it, and I just tell the patient ahead of time, listen, it works. I'm not going to harm you. Why don't we try it and see just how much improvement you get with that? And then separately, there are creams and products, peptide creams and creams that have a lot of ceramides in them, heavy moisturizers, glycolic acid, fruit acids. Those are all going to help the actual tone and texture of the skin. So it's a three-pronged approach, partly skincare. So, you want products that are going to help as to the best of the product's ability, because it can't really get as deep down there as we want it to. But the products will help with hydration and just preventing the speed at which this will occur. Then there are treatments that I mentioned, either Botox for what it can do, and then tightening procedures.
Okay. Can Dr. Ingleton explain what is the best simple skincare routine she would give for women on the move?
Women on the move? So I'm going to break it into morning and evening. And it's so funny, most of the people in my practice are these women. They're like go-getters. They gotta go, gotta go, 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 go. So in the mornings, like I said, it's nice to cleanse your face with, if you can, a cleanser. It doesn't have to be anything special. But if you can't afford the time to wash your face, then in the shower, just make sure you're doing something to remove whatever's on your skin from overnight. And the simple next step is something. Okay, so this is a perfect time to introduce a targeted treatment product. So if, let's say you're picking from my skincare regimen, look in the mirror, what is your skin problem? Are you having dark spots? Are you having breakouts? Is your skin starting to show signs of aging? Is it dry? Is it dull? Pick a serum that targets that, put that on, and then put your sun protection on. That is as simple as it can get for the morning for me. If you can't, that is as simple as it gets. If you want to eliminate the cleansing step because you're just that lazy, you can do the other two. But that's it for the morning. And then at night, you heard me earlier about just cleanse your face. I don't care how you cleanse it. Not gritty, not scrubbing and roughing it up. I'm talking get a cleanser that effectively takes your makeup and the dirt off. You don't have to do another step of rubbing and toning and all of that. That's extra. If you want to do that or need that, you do it. But for a busy woman on the go, a proper cleanser, and then put on a treatment product at bedtime. Again, look in the mirror. What is your skin challenge? And try to put something on that targets that. If you have no challenge, then at the very least, put a moisturizer on that is multifunctional, like the one in my skincare line, so that you know that it's targeting a whole bunch of stuff while you're sleeping. So it could be as simple as 2 steps in the evening, right? Cleansing and moisturizing. Depends on just how busy you are. But if you have skin issues, I think just target those things. Don't treat things that you don't have. You know how some people buy products because their girlfriend has it. Her skin looks good. Her skin is totally different from yours.
Yeah,
she has eczema and she has dry skin. You don't have that. You have little breakouts or you have dark patches. So what works for her, just like you were, who was talking about hair? It was you, right? Again, you have to choose what is targeting what your issue is. But buy quality products, buy things that are well formulated, that are tried and true, that have great reviews. Like, go online,
Yeah.
look up and make sure that the products are getting raved about by a lot of people. Read labels, and then
When you
just
say
try
read
to
labels, what are we supposed to look for when you say read labels or, look out for?
look out for. One of the things that I'm really big on is educating people about avoiding the clogging ingredients. So get used to the term non-comedogenic.
Yes, yes.
It means non-clogging. And by non-clogging, it means it's not going to lead to acne down the road, which you didn't have to begin with, but you started using this thing.
Then it comes,
And now,
yeah.
ooh, wait a minute, I need to go to the dermatologist. So get familiar with the word non-comedogenic and look for products that say that on the label. That's the easy way. If they are, they tend to say it. If they don't say it, it doesn't mean that they aren't, but then you have to do the work. You have to go look at the list. There are lists online of comedogenic ingredients, and then you have to
Okay.
kind of backtrack and see if your product has any of those. So number one is to avoid things that are clogging. I like the idea of fragrance-free because fragrances are the number one allergen. Of all the people that come into my practice who have an allergic contact dermatitis from something,
Yes.
it's usually a fragrance. I just have to ask the right questions. If I ask enough things, we figure out, oh, the shampoo, huh? So you went to the salon and you used the shampoo was not the one that you normally use. It smelled nice. Your hair felt nice, but then you went home and then there was this rash on your face. So I had to do a lot of detective work, which is why I need time to talk to people. But fragrances are the most common allergen. And so if you can get fragrance-free, it's totally different from non-scented or unscented. I mean, I think you should look for the word fragrance-free. A lot of other things might be written on there. Hypoallergenic, nice term. It's helpful as well because that means that amongst the masses of people, it is less likely to cause an allergy in you. It doesn't mean that there are not people out there who are allergic to whatever few ingredients are in the product, but it's just a lower likelihood. So look for the word hypoallergenic, look for non-comedogenic, look for fragrance-free, and then I tell people, the naming of the product or what's written on the packaging should be helpful. I think, manufacturers, people who are making products, try to tell their story on the package with the naming. So if it says it's for dark spots, maybe that's the one for you.
Yeah.
And then look for the other things. Or if it says it's for people with dry skin or people with oily skin or people with breakouts or whatever. So read the packaging in that way and just try to be as narrow as possible. Don't just buy generic and buy things that take care of problems that you don't have. That's another thing, right? So you don't have acne, do not buy the acne product.
You might be anticipating.
You're gonna get a whole other set of problems you're creating right there.
Could you share the telephone number again, somebody?
The office number is
Yes.
212, that's the area code, 673-7100. And my dermatology practice is Ingleton Dermatology. So if you were to go online to Sephora, not Sephora, go on Instagram or something, you can look at our Ingleton Dermatology page. There's a lot of information there, the phone numbers there and all of that as well. Or just go online.
What is your beauty routine, Kayla? And which product or products do you swear by?
Yeah. I keep it really simple, honestly. I do a cleanser day and night. In the day, I'll do a vitamin C serum because, again, hyperpigmentation is always an issue for people of color. Then I'll do a moisturizer that will switch depending on the climate I'm in.
Right.
I'm using one from Namesake. It just launched. Just now, it's a little bit of a lighter one. There's one from Caudalie that just launched. The Harvard one that they did that's like, you don't need to age. In the purple, from Caudalie.
Oh, from Caudalie, no. I
Yeah,
haven't.
yeah. So I was using that one before. And then, of course, the sunscreen, tinted sunscreen, because I'm in front of a screen all day and that gives you the blue light protection. And then at night, I'll use a cleanser again. I'll do a retinol. Sometimes I'll use a serum, depending on, what's happening with my skin. I'll use like a hyaluronic acid serum if I'm finding that I'm a little bit drier. And then I'll use usually a heavier cream at night. Yeah.
Music to my ears.
Yeah, keep it simple. You don't need to do that much. Like when people ask me, they're like, oh my God, you have such
Yeah.
great skin, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I mean, my parents have good skin, so I'm blessed in that way. But I keep it simple. Like, why are we making, like the world is a disaster. Like, just make something that you can control simple. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't need to be all this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just keep it simple.
It's so funny, I didn't mention hyaluronic acid, which is one of the things I love so much.
Yeah.
And there's tons of it in the calming hydration booster, the one with the blue bottom. So if people who need that extra hydration, or you're getting on a plane and you know your skin is going to get sucked dry, by the time you get to the other side, that's perfect. But the moisturizer also has a boatload of hyaluronic acid.
Yeah, just it's the good stuff.
Again, multifunctional.
Yes, yeah.
I love your routine. Simple, pointed, you know, but consistent. You don't want to do anything just once in a while. Find something that can be a rhythm for you, and it's like you feel like something is off. If you went to bed and didn't do it, like, okay, something doesn't feel right.
Right.
Yeah.
It should feel like that.
What's your product for atopic eczema?
What of the products in my product line? Is that
I
what they mean?
suspect. So what?
So people with atopic dermatitis or eczema have skin that tends to be dry and inflamed. In my skincare line, the calming hydration booster, which is the one with the blue bottom, is best suited for that kind of skin because it calms. It has a lot of anti-inflammatories, which is what we need. It has sea whipped extract. It has some Caribbean, why am I blocking on all of the names right a second? White tea extract, green tea extract, chamomile. It has a lot of hyaluronic acid. And all of those things calm, irritate. You can put that on and it will calm. And then it also has the hyaluronic acid to hydrate. So that would probably be the best one. Because the tendency is when you have eczema, your skin can be very sensitive to fruit acids. My products have a lot of fruit acids in them, but the calming hydration booster doesn't have a lot. It's like a little taste just so you get some of that exfoliating benefit as well. But mostly it's pumped with a lot of hydration and calming ingredients.
Okay, I know you're going to tell me that all of your products are your favorite, but what's the one product that you would pack if you had to leave the others behind?
The moisturizer.
The moisturizer.
Yeah. It's really magical. It just does everything, you know? I feel like if I had to have one product, you have hydrating ingredients in there, you have skin brightening ingredients, you have the thing that makes you glow. Like literally your skin glows. You have fruit acids in there to smoothen texture. I was just wanting to put everything in there that I know is good, so that if you had to use one thing,
that would be it.
The moisturizer.
Okay. Question?
Yes, I do. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you very much, Novia and the Jamaica Observer, for having such a, I feel refreshed having a conversation about these types of things that we don't talk about nearly enough. We just kind of do our own thing and we just, oh, your skin looks great. Can I do what you do? So thank you for that. And also I feel attacked with the fact that I have so many aches and pains in my body, and you're saying it's not normal. I feel like a Panadol could fix it. I don't know what's the problem. Anyway.
I used to be you.
Yeah. Kayla, my question is for you, actually. We Sagicor, a few of our clients are here for this beauty and wellness summit, a couple of them in the makeup industry and manufacturing of makeup in particular. And I wanted you to speak to what you're seeing in terms of trends right now and what really will work. Funny story, they're both very young and doing excellent in terms of their production.
They are.
But what are the trends that you're seeing right now?
Yes.
And then in terms of hair, that now is gone completely out of control in terms of the amount of products that are available for not just women of color, but just generally. Do you ever feel overwhelmed with the hair industry in general, but mostly about the makeup, please?
Yeah. Boy, do I have an answer for you. Okay, so the first thing with makeup is I think people are becoming a lot, well, I think it's either going to be one of two extremes. And I think we see it just in the industry in general. We saw it in New York Fashion Week. We see it everywhere. It's either you're going with a super clean look because, you know, COVID just stopped you from wearing makeup and you're like, you know what, I just kind of want to embrace my skin. So you're either doing that, and there's actually a brand that was launched I don't know if you know Ami Coley. Yes, and that was a brand that was launched specifically as like a no makeup look for women of color, and it's fantastic. They have a skin tint, a mascara, a lip oil, which is like gone viral. And what else do they have? They just launched a concealer. That's fantastic. So there's that end of the spectrum. And there's the other end of the spectrum. People are becoming super experimental with makeup. So like if you look at the Chromat show, so in 2019, they were kind of doing Euphoria style makeup. And a lot of people have been really influenced by that show and how they do their style of makeup. And a lot of people have just been doing a lot of, you know, crazy things with eye makeup just because we can't do the lipsticks as much anymore, which sucks for me because I'm a lipstick girl, you know, as you can see. But a lot of people have just been kind of doing whatever, you know, like eye decals and just, you know, Pat McGrath type colors and all that type of stuff. So there's definitely, it's one extreme or the other I'm finding with makeup. In terms of hair, there's a lot on the market. I will say in particular for women of color and people with textured hair, there was not a lot of options even 10 years ago. So the fact that we have an abundance of options now is kind of good and fantastic because everybody's hair is different, everyone's texture is different, everybody's level of porosity is different. So you need to have options for your hair. It's not just as simple as, you know, grease and a comb anymore, you know? So I think there's more to play around with. I think though, and we're actually seeing some skincare ingredients in hair care now, which is interesting too. I think that you need to know, okay, what are the issues that I have with my hair? Is it dryness? Is it flaking? Is it dandruff? Is it a scalp issue? Or is it a hair issue? Is my hair unhealthy? And then, you know, take a look at what's on the market and see what's going to help you with your hair. If you have, you know, if you find that your hair is very weak, K18 is great. They have a really great leave-in conditioner mask, which is, you know, similar to kind of Olaplex, where it helps repair the bonds of the hair. If you have, you know, scalp issues, there's a number of products, and they don't have to be expensive either. Dove just released a line of, and I'm forgetting the exact name of it, but they just released a line that I tested before I came here, and it's scalp. Dr. Elise loved it with them. And it was like, it's like a scalp.
I work for Dove, and I
Yes,
this product.
It's new, but you can get it for like $5 at the drugstore, right? So you just have to know what exactly your hair issues are or what your goals are with your hair, and then use products that are targeted to that.
Just like the skin.
And there's it's a nice, you mentioned products and hair and stuff, so can the Panelist speak to nutrition and its connection to wellness? What we eat and drink shows on the exterior, our hair, nails and skin. What we eat impacts our bones and how we move. So, absolutely. Start Summer and then pick up Doc. You didn't speak about nails, Kayla. Nail arts. Go ahead.
Yes, nutrition is important. Eating a well-balanced diet, and again, what type of problem do you have? People healing from wounds or after surgeries, they need more protein, or, you know, but I think just, again, keeping it simple, a well-balanced diet, lots of clean food, plants, less things from a package, unfortunately limiting alcohol, which I love wine, so that's not going to happen for me. Yes, it is important, and I think also with inflammation, if you eat high inflammatory foods, you're going to feel it in your joints. And a lot of the foods that we think are good for us, I think tomatoes are high inflammatory. You know, you think tomatoes are healthy, but they increase your inflammatory response. So, not my area of expertise, but know enough about it to just stay clean and keep it simple.
Of course,
Pardon?
Wine is a fruit.
there you go. Of course, it comes up in my work a lot around acne, around eczema conditions. It's important to eat a balanced diet. You know, like we were talking about earlier, drinking lots of water. Water really does a big deal for our skin. Antioxidants in your food. It's like superfood for your body. So, you know, think berries, think salmon, anything that's like that is going to be really good. But then the preparation of food is important as well. You want to, if you can adhere to something that's more of an anti-inflammatory diet, which it's going to exclude all the fried foods and a lot of the meats, some a lot of the meats, and the sugars and alcohol. Of course, wine. I know your pain. But if you're having issues that are inflammatory, it's best to be on an anti-inflammatory food regimen, just like I know, the pain.
And switch to vodka.
Everything and anything in moderation.
Yes, but fruit, leafy, green vegetables are always good for you. Build your iron level up. And that's really all I have to say about it.
Yeah, we don't want to dwell too much on what.
And with nails, by the way, nails. We often talk about, putting extra biotin into your system, which is one of the many vitamins, and cysteine, and there are other ingredients that are oftentimes compounded in these classic hair, skin, and nail vitamins that you can buy and take as supplements. The primary ingredient they're relying on is biotin, but there are other things added in as well.
Okay. So, if you have a nail issue, we can visit you. Okay. And on the subject of nails, you did something, Kayla, recently on nails, but it's a twofold thing because people feel that it's just too much, it's over the top, it's dangerous for your nails as well. Right? So, what's your take on it? We do have, we're exposed to products like Dazzle Dry, right? And more, a more vegan type products.
Yeah, I think with nails, you have to make sure that your cuticles are moisturized, and you also have to make sure that whoever you're going to do your nails is not damaging your nail plate. You have to just make sure that your nails are being properly taken care of whoever you go to. I started doing my nails myself over the pandemic because I found that when I go to the salon too often, they were just getting super thin, they were breaking a lot. And that's a lot of the issue with the nail, is that the person who's doing the nail is not qualified to do it, and there's issues. Yeah.
So hold that thought. To you, Doc. What should one do to repair?
You made me think of the fact that many times they clip your cuticles.
Right.
The cuticles have a function. We're supposed to have cuticles. We just don't like when they overgrow and you have a big show of white, dry stuff there. They should be pushing back your cuticle. But manicurists is to just grab their tool. They don't even ask you and just start clipping away. They're taking away your protective barrier between things on the outside getting into that part of your nail and setting up infection.
Well, that's the Russian manicure too.
There you go.
That I'm seeing is everybody wants this cuticle-less manicure, and it looks great, but it's
those are the same people coming into my office with swelling around the nail bed because things have gotten under there, bacteria, viruses, fungi, and then we have to treat that. But as long as they have that look, happy with it. But it's not a good thing. Your cuticle is supposed to be there. You can push it back just to have a cosmetically better appearing nail, but it's part of the necessary function. And then hydration of the cuticle and the area around the cuticle is very important as well.
Yes, I'd love to Director right here. I am Lori Robinson, Director for Unwind Distributors, and we distribute Dazzle Dry, a special nail care line, award-winning. I want to speak on nail care because women tend to focus just on how your nails look, and we tend to feel because it's so hard that it's not an extension of our skin and we don't have to take care of it, but that's absolutely false. Once you have aggressive cuticle removal, it's going to have an impact on the health of your nails, as well as if you have something covering your nail bed for 2 weeks or more, your nails are not breathing. So it doesn't matter, it could be the purest nail polish, it doesn't matter. Once it's covering your nail beds for more than 2 weeks, it's going to be dehydrated. It's going to thin out. That is the main cause, not necessarily wearing gel or acrylic. That's not necessarily damaging your nails, it's how it's taken off and how long you have these things on your nail beds for. So it's important to take what I call nailcations. So you take a little vacation for your nails, about 2 to 4 weeks, and you can apply Dazzle Dry's Mend Oil 2 to 3 times per day, preferably oils that are not synthetic and has phospholipids or skin identical ceramides that can replenish your nail beds and strengthen your nail beds. And so, yeah, that's my take on it.
Would you like to add anything?
All really good points. One of the things that I see often in the practice, other than infections around the nail bed, is the thinning out of the nail from having worn covering, whatever it is, if you're doing a wrap or if you're doing the artificial nail attachments, everyone's wearing the dagger look, and they're putting them on, and they leave them on for really long periods. And like you said, during that time, there is no exchange of moisture between the outside and your nail, so the nail gets dried out, which is why when those are removed, there's this white, dry look to the surface. And then what does the manicurist do? They buff. They should be hydrating. The oil is probably the perfect thing. But you do need to buff somewhat, but if you do that often enough, your nail itself gets thin. So it's not a healthy thing. You definitely need to take holidays from having artificial nails and even having polish. Let the nails breathe.
Can I just interject? I think maybe I'm loud enough. What I'm hearing, I'm not a get my hands done because unlike my darling Dovia, I'm in the dirt and I cook and all that stuff. So I'm usually not doing the fingers, but I'll do my toes. But the thing is, if you're saying about the dryness and the infection, and Laurie's saying about the, not breathing and stuff like that with the nail polishes and stuff. Of course, I have it on my toes. And we're talking about the trimming of the cuticles, which whenever I go to get mine, the rare times done, I always say, do not push back. But if we are putting ourselves in the hands of supposed to be professionals, and we're hearing so many don't, which is the standard practice for all these manicurists. So who is going to speak to that for them to stop doing it that way? Because I know I'm not an expert, one of the few things I'm not in this field. Let me quantify this field. And then maybe tomorrow I'll just wake up and I am.
Well, that is why we have, the people that we have on our panel.
Absolutely.
To speak to that, because it is, Doc said it from the outset. You don't just wake up and become Dr. Rose Ingleton with products.
In spite of what the internet is saying.
There you have it.
Yes,
and
overnight.
Taylor has said the same thing.
It's years
with Summits,
of
the same thing.
years. But I'm going to tell you tomorrow, when I wake up, I'm a manicurist.
All right.
What I'm saying
I'm
is
going
that
to wake up
we all know. And then another thing, what happens, people tend to be afraid to speak out when they go, even though they know the truth, because they know you're not supposed to be filing back and forth. You're supposed to file in one direction. But you sit there and let the so-called expert do what they're not supposed to do. But who is going to address? Is there a standard bearer to say that this should be stopped now and this should not continue? Laurie?
First and foremost, remember, self-advocate. Do not just sit there and have them do whatever they will.
It's your body at the end of the day.
It hurts. If you're flinching, speak up, say something.
Absolutely. Dr. Vivian Valenti, she's the founder for Dazzle Dry, and she's the one that actually created the gel polish in 1989 under the Pro Finish label. Now, yes, it's her mission to educate the professionals, the nail professionals, because they don't learn this in school. They don't learn necessarily about proper nail care. And so, for example, I can't sell Dazzle Dry in stores, and I cannot sell it to any professional without training them. And this is a very thick manual. It's not just about application, it's about proper nail care. The reality is that, there's a lot of resistance and persons just want to continue doing it their way. And we've been struggling with that. But we're pushing on, we're getting through to a lot of these nail professionals locally. And I know Dr. Valenti is doing that in the US as well. So, it's about education. We're actually talking to Place to try and implement that in their curriculum as well.
With the Cedesco certification, Laurie, I agree with you there. And, where is Alicia? It is, so important that we have these, beauty and wellness summits, and this will be this is the first, but it certainly won't be the last. And I have to single out Alicia, who, from Sagicor, who, invited people in the industry to be part of this weekend, to hear what you have to say and to learn and to, to participate. So thank you very much. And of course, thank you to Half Moon absolutely too, because you're going to soak later on and tell us how it went, the push bath. And, of course, to products, traditional products that we've all had in our, cabinets, in our bags, like, Benjamin's, right? I mean, it's nice to, and, 3 cheers to you guys who've come on board. Yep. Right? Because as Kayla says, time has come for us to really, the products that we have all grown up on, that we know, to be part of the conversation, the global conversation around beauty, right, and wellness, because it certainly works if you heat it, if you're in the cold, and you can use it for a paraffin treatment, right? So all good things must come to a full stop, and we're activating the full stop right now. I'd like to obviously thank you, Dr. Rose Ingleton, for taking time out of your super busy schedule to be with us.
Such a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Such a pleasure. This is wonderful what you're doing, Novia.
And we appreciate you being part of it. Summer, and Summer has a class that's fully booked, I think, tomorrow morning, right? Yes, we know that Benjamin has a rose water spray, yes, but, I haven't tried that one yet. Summer has a class now. I think there are like 2 slots, perhaps. Laura, are there any slots available in the class? Right? So that should be fun. A mat exercise. I won't be doing it. I like the reformer work. Right? And tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock as well. That one is fully committed. No surprise. Kayla, congratulations again on your recent promotion. And continue to make us proud.
Thank you so much.
Right? And, we're happy that you spend not a lot of time, but enough time with us. We're happy that you are a phone call away.
Of course.
The Beauty and Wellness Summit, well, today, February 26th, remember that day because it's a very important day. It's the day we started, powered by Sagicor. Thank you, Sagicor. Thank you, Half Moon. We've really terrorized Half Moon, so hopefully Laura will continue to take our calls. Half Moon, Benjamin's Cosmetics, and of course MDS. And we can never do this. We're kind of getting used to being out of the Phase 3 Trade Center. So I think this could be our new spot. What do you think, my cameraman? Right? Don't tell Delana I said so, right? But thank you, Phase 3, as always a pleasure. And of course, thank you to our participants. Thank you to my hairdresser who came down 8 o'clock this morning to be part of this. Lisa, hello, right? Pat, who I think was the first person to book Doc, so she's going to get your special gift.
Is that right?
Yes, Pat's Henry. She was the first person to go online and to book one of Half Moon's presidential suites. And of course to the Observer, our managing director. She's acting this week, but our deputy, I like the sound of that too. Our deputy managing director, Natalie Chin, who always responds to the madness. We need to get her into one of your classes, Summer. Yeah. She ignores the pain, right? And thank you, of course, to everybody watching and to everybody overseas and to everybody here and everybody who's asked questions. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Sometimes the things that tear us apart are the ones that unite us and bring us closer together. Sometimes the darkest of night turns into a day so bright, leaving the scars and the pain, everything that we fear behind us. Let's keep on dreaming. Where there is love, let's find up through wind and storm. 'Cause after the rain, there'll be a calm. Sunshine of a new day, it won't be long. Keep holding
A
on.
message from Sagicor.
I looked at you and suddenly something in your eyes I see soon begins bewitching me. It's that old devil moon that you stole from the skies. It's that old devil moon in your eyes. You and your glance make this romance too hot to handle. Stars in the night, blazing their light, can't hold a candle to your razzle dazzle. You got me flying high and wide on the magic carpet ride, full of butterflies inside. Just when I think I'm free as a dove, old devil moon deep in your eyes blinds me with
P.A. Benjamin Manufacturing Company Limited, manufacturers of quality Jamaican products, bringing them to your home for over a century, introduces a new range of personal care luxury products for you with our newest brand, Benjamin's Cosmetics. The Benjamin's Cosmetics line is made with authentic Jamaican black castor oil and other natural oils for healthy hair. Our products are specially formulated with the best ingredients to infuse your hair with shine, hydration, and softness. We offer luxurious premium natural oils and skincare items that are gentle enough for daily use, promoting healthy hair and skin. It is the same brand that you have come to know and love, now available for your beauty needs. Benjamin's, a trusted name for over a century.